Okay, so let's start. In the last class, I was talking about some properties of trees, and we saw two very important properties of trees. Number one, in a tree, what will happen? There always exists a unique path between given pair of vertices. And number two, what we saw that in any tree having at least two vertices, the degree of at least two vertices is 1. We also did the proof of the theorems. Now we are up to the third theorem, which is another property of a tree. So let T be a tree with n vertices. Then T has exactly n minus 1 edges. That means in any tree you take, the number of edges will be exactly 1 less than the number of vertices. The proof is by induction. So we have a very simple proof. We do the proof by induction. We prove the result by induction on n. Okay, so we will first take a tree with one vertex, then we'll assume it that my tree has k vertices and satisfying this condition, and then we'll prove that this will be true for k plus 1 vertices. Okay, so we'll do the basic step. So what is the basic step for n equals to 1? For n equals to 1. So when I have just one vertex in my tree, then what will happen? Very obvious, because I cannot have any loops and I cannot draw any other edge as well. That means I will have no edges possible. I cannot draw any edge on one vertex. That means the number of edges will be 0. Hence the result has been proved. Then T has exactly 1 minus 1 edges, 0 edges. So when n equals to 1, because T is a simple graph, that means it cannot have loops. Because T is a simple graph, it does not contain any loops. Any loop. So therefore T cannot have any edge. So my tree cannot have any edge. Thus, the number of edges in T is 0, and 0 can be written as 1 minus 1, because n here is 1, so I have proved the result for n equals to 1. 1 minus 1. Okay. Hence, the result holds, or the theorem holds, for n equals to 1. Did you understand my point or no? The induction step, the basic step. So now we'll talk about the induction step. So I'll assume that the theorem is true for any tree containing k vertices. So let me take the induction step, or the induction hypothesis. So induction hypothesis. This is what we do in induction. We'll assume that the theorem is true for any tree having k vertices. So let k be greater or equal to 1, be a integer. So let k be a integer, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. We assume that the theorem holds for any tree with k vertices. So we are assuming that if my tree has got k vertices, then assume that it has got k minus 1 edges. So that is what the theorem says, and we are assuming that suppose it is true for any tree having k vertices. Now by induction the result will be true if I can prove the result is true for any tree having k plus 1 vertices. So induction step. So what is the induction step? Let T be a tree with k plus 1 vertices. What I want to prove? I want to prove that this tree will contain k edges, because what is 1 less than k plus 1? It is k. I want to prove that my graph T or my tree T has got k edges. Keep that in mind. If I can do that, we are done. Okay. We'll use the previous theorem for this. So since k plus 1 is greater or equals to 2, because k is at least 1, so k is at least 1, so this number is at least 2, k cannot be 0. So this number is at least 2, that is my tree has got at least 2 vertices, because k is at least 1, so this is at least 2. So in simple words, my tree has got at least 2 vertices. So it follows that T has at least 2 vertices, and we know by the theorem that if your tree has got at least 2 vertices, it will have at least 2 vertices with degree 1. By the previous theorem, it follows that T has at least 2 vertices, and hence it has at least 2 vertices U and V. Suppose I am also naming that vertices, at least 2 vertices U and V of degree 1. Am I clear or not clear? So by assumption what we know that T has got at least 2 vertices, and if you apply the previous theorem, any tree containing at least 2 vertices, what we know, it will have at least 2 vertices of degree 1, and suppose I am naming that vertices as U and V. There can be more also, but at least 2 will be there, that is guaranteed by the theorem. So we know this. So what we will do, we'll construct a new tree. Construct a tree. Let me call that tree as T1. What is this tree T1? It is the tree minus U. You know the meaning of this? That is, what is the meaning of this? From the graph T, what I am doing, I am removing the vertex U, and also the edge which is incident to U. See, degree of, this is my whole tree, I don't know how it looks, but there is one vertex. There can be another way also, right? Like this. So this is the whole graph T, and this is the vertex U having degree 1. So what is the meaning of T minus U? Already explained. We are removing the vertex U and also the edge. There is only one edge which is incident to U, that we know, because the degree of U is 1. So I am removing this edge and removing this vertex. So I will remain with this graph. I am calling this graph as T1. So what is T1? That is, T1 is a new tree, a new graph which does not contain the vertex u and though edge. Remember why I am writing though edge? Because there is only one edge that is incident to you. So that edge is unique. There cannot be two edges incident to you, because by assumption degree of u is 1. So T1 is a new graph which does not contain the vertex u and the edge that is incident to now. Also T1 is still a tree. That is very obvious. It is still connected because I have removed this vertex B, but all these vertices are still the vertex of T. So they are connected because T is a tree. So T1 will also be a tree because it does not contain any cycles, and only I have removed this vertex. So that is a tree, still a tree, and a tree with how many vertices? One less, because I have removed one vertex. Also T1 is still a tree with k vertices. Am I clear up to here? You please ask if you are facing some problem. So originally the graph T or the tree T has got k plus 1 vertices, but I am removing one vertex now. So T1 is still a tree with k vertices, right? So apply the induction hypothesis. What was the induction hypothesis? Assume that the theorem holds for any tree with k vertices. So by the induction hypothesis, we are assuming that the theorem is true for any tree with k vertices. So therefore, by the induction hypothesis, what can I say? T1 has exactly k minus 1 edges, because what we are assuming in the induction hypothesis, any tree containing k vertices will have exactly k minus 1 edges, right? So because T1 is a tree containing or having k vertices, so by the induction hypothesis it will have k minus 1 edges, and which are done, and this implies T has exactly this. So what is the number of edges in T? Just one more than the number of edges in T1, because how am I constructing the edge? How I am constructing the graph T1? I am constructing the graph T1 just by removing one edge. So number of edges in T is exactly this much plus 1. So or we are done. T has exactly k edges. So what I had started with, I started with consider any tree having k plus 1 vertices. I have proved that it has got exactly k edges, one less than the number of vertices. Hence by induction, the result is true for any n belonging to n. So we have done the theorem that any tree having k vertices or n vertices will have n minus 1 edges. So this theorem is really powerful. Like if you want to check whether a graph is a tree or not, you count the number of edges and you count the number of vertices, right? If the number of edges is not one less than number of vertices, then you can clearly claim that the given graph is not a tree. So this is a necessary condition to be a tree, that if this will happen, if it does not happen, then that cannot be a tree. So suppose if I give you a graph, which has got 5 edges and suppose 7 vertices, then this graph straightforward cannot be a tree. Because if it has got 7 vertices, it should have 6 edges. But I have given it 5 edges only. So that cannot be a tree. So this is a very strong characterization of trees. So we have done 3 very important properties of a tree. We have done 3 very strong properties of a tree. We have done the proofs also of all 3 theorems. Now this is basically compact form and few more terms that will actually help you in characterization. So I'll just write characterization of tree. Characterization of trees. So this will come as a theorem to us. This will give you whatever we have done till now and some more extra conditions as well. The theorem is this: let T be a tree. No, let T be a graph. Any graph, may not be a tree. Let T be a graph with n vertices. Then the following are equivalent. I'll tell you what is the meaning of this. Equivalent. Number 1, T is a tree. Number 2, if U and V are 2 vertices of T, then there exists, we have already done this, a unique path from U to V. So we have already done this. Number 3, T is a connected graph and has n-1 edges. And number 4, T has no cycles and has n-1 edges. See, previously we had done 3 theorems related to tree. All three conditions were necessary. That means if that is a tree, then this will happen. If this will happen, it may not guarantee that the previous one is tree. The graph is a tree. That means whatever theorem that we have done till now, that just gives you a necessary condition to be a tree. Right? That means if tree, then these conditions. If this condition, then it may not be a tree. It may not be a tree. But this theorem gives you a necessary as well as some sufficient conditions to be a tree. That means if any one of these holds, then all other will also hold. Suppose if 1 holds, then 2, 3, 4 must hold. If 4 holds, then this must hold. If 2 holds, then this must hold. That is the meaning of the following are equivalent. If any one of these holds, then all other will hold, and if any one of these does not hold, then any other cannot hold. Okay, so we'll first prove this theorem and then we can apply. So now this theorem gives you sufficient condition to be a tree. Suppose you want to know that is a tree. If this condition is satisfied, or if this condition is satisfied, or if this condition is satisfied, you can simply say that this is a tree. See the last 3 theorems that I had done, theorem 1, theorem 2, theorem 3, the converse of theorem 2 and converse of theorem 3 may not be true. That is the reason they are not here, kind of, with extra condition that is true. Okay, and the theorem 1 that I have done, which was this: if tree, then this will happen. But now what I am seeing, that converse of theorem 1 is also true. If 2, then 1. Right? So we will do it. We will prove this. Am I clear up to here what I mean by this theorem? So very strong characterization. So we'll first prove it. Now what is the idea of the proof? So this is the idea of the proof. I'll first prove that 1 implies 2. I'll first prove this. 2 implies 3, I'll next prove this. 3 implies 4, I'll next prove this, and 4 implies 1. If this is done, they all will be equivalent. So 1 implies 2, 2 implies 3, 3 implies 4, and 4 implies 1. If this can be proven, I can say they are equivalent because all other conditions can be derived from here. Suppose you want to see why 2 implies 3, or why 3 implies 2. Very easy, because 3 implies 4, 4 implies 1, 1 implies 2, and 2 implies 3. So 3 will imply 2 and so on. Right? So all other conditions will come from here if I can prove this. So I have to prove 4 statement. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do one by one. So the proof 1 implies 2 is already done. Consider that is a tree and this will happen. There exists a unique path between any two vertices. That is the theorem number 1 that we have done. So 1 implies 2 is already done, we have seen. So 2 implies 3, I have to prove it. 2 implies 3. It is also not that difficult, it's very simple. So I want to prove that I am assuming this, I have to prove this. I am assuming this, I'll prove this. Okay? So it's very simple. Let's see why. Try to understand. 2 implies 3 means you are assuming that suppose you are assuming 2 and you will prove 3. So suppose what is 2? Suppose for any pair of vertices, there exists a unique path. That is an assumption. You want to prove that T is a connected graph. Okay, so it's very simple. By the assumption or by the hypothesis, 2 is true. 2 is your hypothesis. So from the assumption 2, what I know, it follows that T is connected. That is very obvious because that is the definition of a connected graph. That is just a definition of a connected graph. Okay? So, because for any two pair of vertices there exists a path. So, by condition 2 it is very much clear that T is connected and T does not have cycles, because if T has got, see, why can I say from 2 these two conditions are true? Very obvious, because by condition number 2 what is given to us? It is given that for any two pair of vertices there exists a unique path. So if there exists a unique path or there exists a path, right? So that implies that T is connected. And why T does not contain any cycles is very obvious, because if T has some cycles, as you can see here, then what will happen? There will exist two paths from any vertex to any other vertex. For example, consider U and V. This is one path and another path can be like this, right? So that will again contradict that there exists a unique path. So by statement number 2, I can conclude this and I can conclude this. Am I clear? Now if you see, what is this? From assumption 2, T is connected and T does not contain cycles, that implies T is a tree. Right? Because that is the definition of a tree. T is connected and does not contain any cycle. Any connected acyclic graph is called as a tree. That implies T is a tree, and by the theorem, and hence T has n minus 1 edges, and this is 3. So we are done. Why? by this condition T is a tree, by this condition T is a tree, and because T is a tree having n vertices, that is already given in the question. So it is a tree having n vertices, so any tree having n vertices will have n minus 1 edges. So why is 2 implying 3? If I am taking this, I am getting a connected graph and has n minus 1 edges. We are done, right? So 2 implies 3 is also true. We are done with 1 implies 2 and 2 implies 3. So 1 implies 2 and 2 implies 3. We'll now prove 3 implies 4. We'll assume this and we'll prove this. We'll assume this and we'll prove this. Are you getting my point? Or just no? We'll now prove 3 implies 4. 3 implies 4. Okay? So we are now going to prove that 3 implies 4. So this 3 will imply 4. So that means what is 3? We are assuming that let T be a graph with n vertices, that is already given, n vertices. What is 3? We are assuming 3. 3 was T is connected and n minus 1 edge. So this is the given in the question only, or the statement of the theorem. So T is a graph with n vertices. Now what is 3? T is a connected graph. T is a connected graph with n vertices and n minus 1 edges. So 3 says that T is connected and has got n minus 1 edges. T is connected and has got n minus 1 edges. So, and it has got n vertices, that is very obvious, that is given in the theorem. What is 4? So this I am assuming. This I am assuming. What is 4? I have to prove 4. What is 4? T has no cycles and n minus 1 edge. Right? So n minus 1 edge is already proved. Both the statements have n minus 1 edges. So there is nothing to prove here. That means I have to, using this hypothesis, I have to prove that my graph T has got no cycles. My graph T has got no cycles. So that is my aim to prove. Right? So we'll do it this way. We'll do this way. I'm trying to prove in a different way. Okay. So my aim is to prove that there does not exist any cycle in T. So suppose T contains a cycle C. I'll prove that this leads to a contradiction. So suppose T contains a cycle C, we'll show that this cannot happen. So T contains a cycle C. Let E be an edge of C. So I'm assuming that my graph T has got a cycle C, and consider one edge of the cycle. So there is some graph, I don't know, and I'm assuming that this is a cycle C, and there can be other parts of the graph as well, because, and so on, I don't know, right? So this is a graph. If you remove one edge from the cycle, the graph still remains connected, because this was the path, but I have another path also. You might think that this removing one edge from the cycle, see, if I am removing this edge, then it is no more connected. But remember one thing, if you are removing any edge from a cycle, your graph still remains connected, because you can reach here from here to here from this. So whenever you are taking this path, you can just replace this path by a bigger path. That doesn't matter. So then define this graph. T1 is this. I am defining this T1 to be, the T1 is same as, it has same vertex set as T, but what is the edge set? I have removed the edge E. I have not removed the vertices. Okay, I have not removed the vertices. So number of vertices in T1 is same as the number of vertices in T, but I have removed one edge from the edge set of T1. So T1 thus then T1 is this, and T1 is connected. T1 is connected. Thus T1 is a connected graph with how many vertices and how many edges? Please tell me. With how many vertices and how many edges? Please tell me. That is very obvious. T1 is a connected graph with, so number of vertices, it is very clear here. Number of vertices in T1 is same as the number of vertices in T. And how many vertices are there in T? It has got n vertices. Thus T1 is a connected graph with n vertices, and number of edges in T1 is number of edges in T minus 1 edge. So n minus 1 minus 1, n minus 2. So T1 is a connected graph with n vertices and n minus 2 edges. My claim is this is a contradiction. Which is a contradiction. Because if you remember, while teaching you connectivity of graphs, I had taught you any connected graph having n vertices must have at least n minus 1 edges. You cannot draw a connected graph having n vertices and n minus 2 edges. You may try it out, you cannot draw. So which is a contradiction. So why did this contradiction occur? Due to this fact. Suppose T contains a cycle, so therefore my assumption was wrong, therefore T contains no cycles. So this is 4. So therefore T contains no cycles and has n minus 1 edges, which is already written here. This is the assumption, n minus 1 edges. So which is 4. Which is 4. So I have proved 3 implies 4 also. So to complete the theorem, I have to prove that last one, 4 will imply 1. That means I'll assume that my graph, assume T has no cycles and a vertices is n I know and n minus 1 edges. This is your statement of number 4. I am assuming 4. I have to prove that T is actually a tree. Under this condition, T is actually a tree. I am proving 4 implies 1. So you see that I want to prove that assume T has got no cycles and n minus 1 edges. So this is my hypothesis. I want to prove that T is a tree. What is the definition of a tree? It has got no cycles and it is connected. So by the hypothesis, they have already given that T has no cycles. So to prove that T is a tree, it is enough to show that T is connected. So my only task to show T is a tree, it is enough to show that T is connected. So if I can prove this, my graph, given graph is connected, if I can just prove this, and I already know that T has no cycles, this two condition implies that T is a tree. So remember, I want to prove that any graph containing no cycle and n minus 1 edges is actually connected. So let's do it very quickly. So again we start with a contradiction, or not contradiction, but I'll start with I'll assume that suppose T has got k many components. That means I'm assuming something like that. It has got k many components, that is T is disconnected, I can say. That is a contradiction also. So I'm assuming that T has got k many components. I'll prove that number of components is 1. We know that if we can show that number of components is 1, what we know? If the number of components is 1, then the graph will be connected. So what I'll do? Let T has k components. Let me name the components as T1, T2, Tk. So let T has k components, T1, T2, Tk. This I am assuming. My target is to prove that the value of k will be 1. It has got only one component, and by definition of a component, T will be connected in that case. So, because T has no cycles, by the hypothesis, it follows that T1, T2, Tk does not have cycles. Because if any one of them have cycles, that will imply that T has cycles, which is a contradiction. So because T has no cycles, it follows that none of the components can have cycles. So because T has no cycles, it follows that T1, T2, Tk does not have cycles. So now you see, very easy. The idea is very simple. T1, T2, Tk are components. What is the meaning of components? By the definition of a component, we know that they are connected. So try to understand my point. These are components, that means they are connected. So T1 is connected, T2 is connected, and so on, and they do not have any cycles. So if you pick up any one of these, then it is connected and has got no cycles. This implies T1, T2, Tk are trees. That is by definition of a tree. Connected and containing no cycle. So T1 is connected because it is a component. Component means connected, and it has got no cycles. So T1 is a tree, T2 is a tree, T3 is a tree, Tk is a tree. Am I clear or not clear? It's very simple up to here. Right? So because T1, T2, Tk are components and has got no cycles, that implies that they are trees. Now almost done. Let Ni be the number of vertices in Ti. I running from, I can be 1, 2, k. So let the number of vertices here be n1, let the number of vertices here be n2, let the number of vertices here be nk. Therefore, number of edges in Ti, because Ti is a tree and I know it has got ni vertices. So what is the number of edges? Ni minus 1. This is by what we know by the definition of a tree, or by the theorem that we did. Just few minutes back we did a theorem. So because each Ti is a tree, I am assuming, suppose that there is ni vertices in Ti and number of edges in Ti is ni minus 1. So what we know, I should write in here, then summation of ni is nothing but n, because total number of vertices in the graph is n. So I running from 1 up to k. Right? Now therefore number of edges in the graph T, what is given in the question? It is n minus 1. But number of edges can also be calculated this way by adding all of this. By adding Bolo, if you want to ask anything, please. So if I sum up all the vertices, that will be equal to the total number of vertices in T. What is the total number of vertices in T? It is n. What is the edges in each Ti? Because Ti's are tree. So number of edges in each Ti is ni minus 1. So number of edges in T can be computed in two manners. One, we already know by the hypothesis, number of edges in T is n minus 1. And what we know here, we can also find the number of edges in T like this, by adding number of edges in each component, and because I know the components are disjoint. So what is this? Summation I running from 1 up to k in I minus, you are adding 1 k times, which will become k. So summation is only up to here. I know what is this? This is nothing but n. I know what is this? This is nothing but n. So this is n minus k equals to n minus 1. You can clearly say n and n is getting cancelled. K equals to 1. What was k? T has got k components. That means k, therefore T has only one component, and that implies T is connected. We are done with that because T is connected, T is acyclic according to the question or according to the hypothesis, then that means T is a tree. Did you understand the proof? Okay, this is a very important characterization of trees. All of these will hold together or none of them will hold. Okay, two things will happen. So I'll be concluding today's lecture by two important notes. So note 1. Any tree with n greater or equals to 2 vertices is bipartite. It is very easy to prove, or why it is bipartite. Any tree with n vertices, at least 2 vertices, is bipartite. You know the characterization of bipartite graphs. A graph is bipartite if and only if it does not contains any cycle of odd length. So you take any tree, it will not even contain a cycle. So forget about the odd cycles, right? So that will make tree a bipartite. And note number 2. A tree is a minimal connected or minimal connected graph. What is the meaning of this? If you remove any edge from your graph, from a tree, then it will no more be connected. Because you know that if you take any tree, it has got, if it has got n vertices, it will have n minus 1 edges. And if you are removing any one of the edges, it will no more be connected. Because we know that a graph is connected, then it has at least 1 minus n minus 1 edges. So remember my point. So if you have any tree that is a minimal connected graph, that means if you remove any one of the edges from your tree, it cannot be connected anymore. It will become disconnected. So it is a minimally connected graph. To be more, I should have minimally actually. Okay, minimally connected graph. You cannot find any smaller graph which will be connected. That means if you are removing any edge, it will become disconnected. Am I clear? So that's all for today. We are almost done with trees. In the next class, I'll pick up 2-3 basic questions from trees, and then we start with a new topic. Thank you.